Good morning, beloveds. Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, Kiawe, and Sugary peoples. My name is Vanessa Sampson Schneider, and I will be the worship assistant for Reverend Dr. Amy Rio this morning. We are a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming congregation which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives bold and acts justly. To all of our visitors and members, we're glad you're here, either in person or with us online, and we hope to see you again. Your presence is a gift to us. And some announcements for this good old Sunday, kind of warm Sunday, but good nonetheless. And so today after service, we will have our 5th Sunday service project. We will sort and pack the donations we have collected all month. Children can also draw pictures and write notes to go into the packets, and we will donate them to Hearts for the Invisible, who will distribute them to their university area clients who are experiencing homelessness. Lunch is provided with donations accepted. Everyone is welcome to stay and help. Also, this is the day for all of the UU the Vote postcards, writers to turn in their written and stamped postcards. And there will be a table after the service to help write any final unwritten cards. And then tomorrow, Reverend Dr. Amy is offering a week from tomorrow. Just kidding. Just trying to put her on the spot today. And so offering a class for people interested in possible membership, and it's 1 week from tomorrow, via Zoom. It's UU 101, and that's where we'll explore the history and beliefs of what it means to be UU. Please let her know if you're interested in attending. And then today, if you didn't already know, we are observing Children's Sabbath as a part of our annual worship service. Our church hosts Piedmont Progressive Preschool, and we are excited to have the co-directors. Do I have Leslie and Mallory in the place? Hey, y'all. All right. And I'll invite them up just to give us a little bit about the wonderful preschool that they... Come on up, y'all.
Good morning, everyone. I am Leslie Studer, and along with Mallory Shockley, we're the co-directors at Piedmont Progressive Preschool this year. I won our fierce battle of rock, paper, scissors, so I'm going to be the one who gets to speak today. But we are very grateful to be here. 24 years ago, Piedmont Progressive Preschool, as we also lovingly refer to as PPP, so you'll probably hear me saying that. It's just shorter and much easier to say. Our school was founded 24 years ago by two absolutely remarkable women, Susan Burns and Mary Coppola. Many of you probably know Susan well, as she's a long-standing church member here. So these two amazing ladies were young parents, and they were bringing their children to a progressive preschool in South Charlotte called the Open Door Preschool. And they were traveling every day, and they were getting tired, and they joined forces and decided, wouldn't it be lovely if we opened a preschool in the same light as Open Door in the North Charlotte region to offer this experience to more families in the community, and also to ease our commute, I'm sure. And so they collaborated, and PPP was born. We are so grateful for the church for not only opening your doors to us, but also for believing in our mission and supporting us throughout the years as we've grown and as we've taken shape. And for giving us the opportunity to fill the hallways and the classrooms with the sounds of joy and laughter every day. We have a beautiful partnership with the church. Many of the children of church members have participated in our program throughout the years. We currently have one of our girls here, Winnie, with us, but I'm sure some more are in the nursery. But we currently have 3 enrolled students that are part of the church family. Karen and Rich, their son Aiden is in the 4-5s class, and their son August also attended. Harley is with me in the 3-4s. And Meredith Norman, who is mom to Hazel. Hazel is also in the 3-4s class. And I see Lachlan is here. It's so nice to see so many faces. So PPP is a really special preschool. Our philosophical approach is what really sets us apart from many of the preschools that are currently, offering programs in the area. One of the most beautiful things at PPP is that we've been able to preserve the simplicity of the early childhood experience throughout the years. In a world that's moving faster than most of us can keep up with all the technological advances, all the hustle and bustle, and all of the pressure that's put on children today, having a place to go where it's just simple and children, the world around us may have changed, but children are intrinsically the same as they've ever been. I know when I was young, what we see as preschool today was kindergarten for me. Now children are expected to learn to read and write when they're 5. They're expected to sit in classrooms for 8 hours a day. And what we do here is kind of giving them the freedom to just be little. Children experience the world through play. So the core of our philosophy here is a child-led and play-based learning experience. We aim to nurture the whole child, and not just from an academic perspective, but from a physical perspective, an emotional perspective, a cognitive perspective, and also from a spiritual perspective. We set up our classrooms with intentionality, but we give the children the freedom to move through their experience in a way that feels meaningful and authentic to them. And we truly believe that when a child is able to guide their own learning journey, that really sets the foundation for a love of learning, which will transcend throughout their whole entire life. We also recognize that every child, just like every person sitting in this room, is unique and special in their own way, and we honor and respect that with our children. We've noticed that in every year in our classrooms, we've had artists and builders and children who enjoy dramatic and imaginary play. So trying to kind of make them focus on something that may not be innately interesting to them is doing them an injustice. So we give them the ability to move through their experience in a way that genuinely speaks to them. We teach them how to positively and peacefully resolve conflicts. We teach them to have tolerance and compassion and empathy for their peers, and teach them how to coexist in that beautiful environment. And again, that will transcend into a life of tolerance and compassion that's in their adulthood. We also honor and respect people from different racial and cultural backgrounds, and we truly believe that this gives our children a real life perspective when they're mixed within a diverse community of students. And nature is a huge component of what we do here. We spend majority of our time outdoors, and everybody knows the impact that nature has on our well-being. I mean, whether you go for a hike in the woods or whether you sit on your back porch on a Sunday afternoon, the feeling of the sun on your skin and the sound of the rustling wind through the trees and the birds chirping, it sets a feeling of peace within your body. It gives you a feeling of resetting and recharging your body, and it's really just essentially good for your soul. So our children experience their educational journey outdoors, engaging with nature. Their bodies are just flooded with fresh air. They are feeling the tactile feelings of all the natural elements out there and incorporating them into their imaginative play. They're running up and down the hills and building their bodies. And this is creating a foundation of peace for them. They're also forming a strong sense of stewardship for the environment by engaging with nature. They're learning how to take care of bugs and treat them with kindness. They're learning how to garden and till the soil and maintain a garden and watching the fruits of their labor develop. And all of these principles together really form a very strong foundation of learning that we feel is, what we want to ingrain in our children. And we feel like so many of these principles really align with the principles that you all share here in your Unitarian Universalist belief. So we're just really excited to partner with the school and just have this beautiful shared community of inclusiveness and celebrating diversity and creating love and compassion amongst everyone. And our motto at PPP is play is powerful, and we could not believe in that more in a world where our children are being forced to grow up so quickly. We just want to preserve that feeling of letting them be little, and you can only achieve that by giving them the freedom to play. So thank you to the church for supporting us through the years. Thank you. One more thing I wanted to mention. We're installing a Little Free Library on the grounds of our nature trail. And for those of you who don't know what it is, it's a library exchange program where we have a beautiful little box where people can take a book, leave a book, and this is going to be open to all the children of the preschool and the church. We're dedicating the library to our founders, Susan Burns and Mary Coppola, next month at our Founders Day Parade. But at the base of our library, we are creating a kindness rock garden. So any of the children, and really any of the church members, anybody who would like to partake, after the service, we have some tables set up outside with rocks and paint, and you're welcome to come and paint a rock that we're going to add to our garden. All right, thank you all.
Fantastic. Thank you, Leslie and Mallory. We appreciate you. And so for other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service, or if you're on our email list, please check our monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something that you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
I want to invite Lachlan up, who's going to come help light the chalice today. Thank you so much. You'll notice we've got one of our children and youth who's going to do our wisdom reading later, and we so much appreciate their leadership and participation. Now, before we light the chalice, I want to take a moment for us to have just a moment of silence for everyone who's been impacted by the hurricane. We know there's some mass devastation. A number of us have close contacts, people we love in impacted areas. And so I just want to take a moment to do that before we light our chalice. And let's just send them light and love and pray for the best recovery efforts that can be possible to be made. Amen. So for our chalice lighting today, as we are observing Children's Sabbath, we light this chalice for the children of our church and the children of our community, celebrating the flame of faith and love, honoring the divine light within each one of us. Let this light illuminate our hearts and lives so that all the children of the world are loved and honored. Please join me now in singing the words to lighting our chalice, the symbol of our faith, and they are found in your bulletin. I invite you to please rise now and body your spirit for our call to worship found in your bulletin. It takes a Unitarian Universalist village to raise a Unitarian Universalist child. It is important for our children to know that they are cared for, to know that they are part of a larger family, an important part of a bigger picture. It is important for our children to believe in themselves, to trust in themselves, to know that they can make a difference. It is important for our children to know our Unitarian Universalist principles, to find ways to live them in our daily lives, and to realize that the choices they make are important. It is important for our children to be able to speak about our faith, to honor its history and its heritage, and to appreciate its heroes and heroines. It is important for our children to explore religious truth and meaning in the Jewish, Christian, and other world religions, and to know that ours is a religion worth having. It is important for our children to experience the spirit of life, to feel a sense of awe at the grandeur of the world, and to live lives of empathy and compassion. Our first hymn will be found in our gray hymnal, number 338, I Seek the Spirit of a Child. please be seated. And I think we probably already have our younger ones up here. Any other younger ones who want to come join Miss Madia, please come up now.
Good morning. Welcome to this very special Sunday where we are celebrating children. And I thought for Time for All Ages today, we could do something a little different, a little cool. I'm going to teach you 2 songs. We're going to sing them all together. We're going to entertain all of the adults in the room, and you're going to help us with some of the music for this morning. And then at the end, I have a little surprise. So, for this first song, you might already know it because I know a lot of my teacher friends use this song at school. So here's how this is going to go. I'm going to sing it first. You're going to follow along with my hand movements, and then you're going to sing it with me the second time. Sounds good? Give me a thumbs up if that sounds good to you. All right, so hold up both of your hands like this, and we go, open, shut them, give a little clap, clap, clap. Does anyone know this one? Raise your hand if you do. You know this one? Let's keep going. Open, shut them, put them in your lap, lap, lap. Are you ready to sing it with me this time? Let's go. Ready? Open, shut them, give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them, put them in your lap, lap, lap. I really like that song because it kind of helps start things off. It gets you ready to go, it gets you ready to learn. Your hands are in your lap and you are ready to listen. Our next song is a much more exciting song. So we start out with our hands in front of us like this. And again, I'm going to sing and do the dance moves. You're going to follow along with the dance moves. And then the second time, you're going to sing with me. So we start. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We'll get there very soon. Pretend to climb a ladder. If you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! You already knew this one. Give me a high five. Thank you so much. Are you ready to sing it with me? Ready? Let's go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We'll get there very soon. If you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! You were so good at that. Okay, for the surprise, the final surprise, I have an instrument that I am going to teach you to play this morning. They are kazoos. I have a song to teach you. But the zipper is broken, so give me a second. I got it. It's just... There we go. You can kazoo. Here you go, Aiden. I'll teach you how to play. Do you not want one? You don't have to have one. You have to get closer to me. Do you two want a kazoo? Okay, that's fine. You want a kazoo? You get a kazoo. All right, so the first thing I'm going to teach you is waiting position, where you hold it in front of you like this. You're going to hold it in front of you like this. We're not having it in our mouths just yet. We are waiting. So Chloe, show me waiting position. Show me waiting position. I gave her one and now it is done, so I have 2 more. If she wants one, she can have one. So, I'm going to play a tune, and then you are going to repeat after me. Ready? Ready? I'm going to play, and then you repeat. Your turn. Do it. Ready? Very good. One more time. Ready? Your turn. Oh, high five. Anyone? Oh, you don't know? That's great. It's a learning opportunity. You see this big part down here? Right here? The big part? That goes in your mouth. And to make sounds, you have to sing into the kazoo. You have to go do, 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 do into the kazoo. Can you try? Do, do, do. Look at you making noises on your kazoo, learning something new. At this time, I'm going to collect the kazoos so then they can be disinfected, so then they can be used for future RE projects. Kazoos in the bag. Kazoo in the bag. One last. There you go. Kazoo in the bag. Beautiful, beautiful. Anyone else? Kazoos in the bag. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. These are going to be disinfected and used for future RE purposes. That was so much fun, getting to sing with you and make music with you and teach you new skills. That was super great. Thank you so much for playing with me.
So I have these in my second grade class, so I know how to use them.
That's really cool.
That is great.
That is super cool.
Well, thank you, everyone. At this point, we're going to enter into a time for ritual and sacred sharing, time where we share joys and sorrows, concerns, and milestones. Now, there are a number of ones I have today that we want to light our candles. And first, let's just light a candle for everyone who's been impacted by Hurricane Helene. We know it's a mass amount of people. And I know of some ones, especially connected with our church. If you know of a concern connected with our church that I do not know about, please let me know after the service, and we'll add them to our joys and concern list. Connie let me know that there are two former members, Karen and Mary, who some of you may know, who live in Brevard, and they've been unaccounted for so far. Robin and Neil had a big, I don't know if it was a full tree or massive branch that took off their front porch of their house. And as of last night, they've been without power the whole time, and the front part of the house is exposed. So Sam and Risa, their condo in West Jefferson, experienced a great deal of flooding, and they are up there at this time. I heard from Sam last night. They're working on taking care of things there. And I know that Warren Vanessa, I might get a little teary-eyed. So I think many of you know I'm an Asheville native, right? And lived there as an adult for a while. Still have very close friends there. My mom is living independently in a retirement community. She is well. But like everyone else throughout the mountains, no power or water. I'm hoping, I keep getting an eye on the roads, and I've been talking to people I grew up with I've not talked to in 30 years. I mean, we've all been trying to communicate. So I'm hoping to go get her when service is over and take 26. So I'm just very grateful she's doing well, but just so many people that are just having just mass impact here. Eileen from our Salisbury gathering, her sister-in-law Gail passed away this past week and had been in hospice for a while. And for some good news, I think many of you know that Beth from our Salisbury gathering, her the young man Todd, who she's been the legal guardian for a number of years, been in very serious condition in the hospital and has pretty much a miraculous recovery yesterday. They were doing all sorts of preparations, and he just opened his eyes yesterday and even spoke. So we are so grateful for that. We also light a candle for all the children of the world, for their safety, health, and happiness. For an end to the epidemic of gun violence, for an end to the political violence and rhetoric, and for a peaceful democratic process in our country. For the ongoing struggle for civil rights in Iran. For the immediate relief of the people of Gaza. For all areas of violence around the world, especially Haiti, the Sudan, the Middle East, and the war in Ukraine. Now, at this time, you are invited to come forward if you would like to do so. You may come forward along the far wall. We have our prayer stand here. You can write a concern on one of the prayer cards and place them on the prayer rack. You may light your own candle of joy or concern, or you may place a stone in our shared water. We now light a few more candles for the things in our heart which remain unspoken, and also for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. We will now enter into a time of quiet rest or meditation or prayer, and I invite you simply to ground yourself in the place where you are. Plant your feet on the ground and feel them connected to the earth below. Slow your breath. Open your heart and mind and body to all that is good in our universe and creation. And simply to breathe in this peace and love.
Among the most accomplished and fabled tribes of Africa, no tribe was considered to have warriors more fearsome or more intelligent than the mighty Maasai. It is perhaps surprising then to learn the traditional greeting that passed between Maasai warriors, Kassian and Gria. One would always say to another, "It means, 'And how are the children?'" It is still the traditional greeting among the Maasai, acknowledging the high value that the Maasai always place on their children's well-being. Even warriors with no children of their own would always give the traditional answer, "All the children are well," meaning, of course, that peace and safety prevail, that the priorities of protecting the young, the powerless, are in place, that Maasai society has not forgotten its reason for being, its proper functions and responsibilities. All the children are well means that life is good. It means that daily struggles for existence do not preclude proper caring for their young. I wonder how it might affect our consciousness of our own children's welfare if in our culture we took to greeting each other with this daily question, "And how are the children?" I wonder if we heard that question and passed it along to each other a dozen times a day, if it would begin to make a difference in the reality of how our children thought of or cared about in our country. I wonder if every adult among us, parent and non-parent alike, felt an equal weight for the daily care and protection of all the children in our community, in our town, in our state, in our country. I wonder if we could truly say without hesitation, "The children are well. Yes, the children are all well." What would it be like if the minister began every worship service by answering the question, "And how are the children?" If every town leader had to answer the question at the beginning of the meeting, "And how are the children?" Are they all well? Wouldn't it be interesting to hear their answers? What would it be like, I wonder?
Thank you, Casty. So back in 1992, the Children's Defense Fund began the invitation to observe a Children's Sabbath. This is a multi-faith approach endorsed by over 200 denominations to have one Sunday a year where the primary focus is on children. Now it's a day to celebrate children and how they are welcomed and included in our faith communities and in our society. It's also a time to acknowledge the actual situations of children around the world and to advocate for social justice to improve the lives of all the children of the world. Now, as many of you are aware, our theme for this month has been invitation. So today we are focusing on what it means to invite the children of our world, to invite them into loving community with all the support that entails, so that they might have healthy and happy lives, the very best foundation for their adult years. Now, one of my favorite passages in the Bible is how Jesus said children were every bit as important as adults. Now, for much of history, there was this idea in the Western world that children were not, or human beings were not fully human beings until they reached a certain age, almost like a partial human being. So for many people in the ancient Near East, they saw children as less than an adult. They weren't quite as important. They'd not reached that age yet. And so when there were some parents who wanted to bring their children to be near Jesus, to receive a blessing from him, and his disciples were trying to keep the children away, Jesus contradicted them. And he even went so far as to say that you have to have the spirit of a child if you want to be part of my kingdom. This is very much a reversal of what people in society believed at that time. I think so many times what people in our society believe today. Now, when I think about that passage, I think about this phrase I'm sure many of us have heard, some of us have probably said from time to time, from the mouth of babes. Heard that? Truth and wisdom, sometimes some very brutal truth too, right? Certainly can come rather unfiltered from children. Now, for those of you maybe around my age or a little older, you might remember a book that came out in 1986. Reverend Robert Fulghum published a book which became a bestseller. Everything I Really Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. Great little book. So, the author detailed all sorts of sayings and stories about kindergartners as a way to improve the lives of adults. Great wisdom for those of us beyond childhood. Now, a few of the things this book included were some of these sayings. Share everything. Play fair. Don't hit people. Clean up your own mess. Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day. Take a nap every afternoon. When you go out into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. All these little things we tell children, they go along perfectly with our values as you use, don't they? When we look at our value statements, they just fit right in there. So what are some ways that we can invite and welcome the children of our world? Now, there are some essential things that we do here at church and that we do in our homes and hopefully in our communities. We are verbally welcoming. We help create spaces where children are welcome. We let children know how valuable they are. We support our families. We create safe spaces where creativity and love and joy can flourish. Now, these are some foundational ways that we invite children, but it's also important for us to act on a larger scale, because we can act locally, but also globally. And what are some ways we can support the children of our society and world? We know that far too many children live in poverty in this area, in our country, and in the world. Far too many are dealing with food insecurity, don't have access to good education, and in some parts of the world, education at all, and so many other challenging issues. And we know that far too many children are starving and being killed in war zones, and sometimes by weapons that our country has sold. And children of color and girls face even greater risk. It is so important as we live out the values of our faith and of our tradition that we don't just sit on the sidelines, but that we actively invite and welcome all the children of the world, here where we are locally and also what we can do globally, to work for justice, advocate for change with our words, our financial resources, and our actions. Now, our social action team here at the church offers so many wonderful ways that we can be involved in helping make a difference. That's one way that we can do things, and there's so many other ways that we can work through other avenues. And I encourage each one of us to look for those things, to talk with other people, to find out what we can do to make a difference in this world. Now, I've heard lots of stories the past 2 years I've been here about so many ways that all of you are doing this. I know many of you are already doing it, and I want to say thank you, and let's keep talking about ways we can expand this. I think of Becky, I'm calling out Becky here, who's created this wonderful nonprofit which is helping families and children. So, it's such an inspiration. And there's so much that so many of us can do to help improve the world and to make a difference, to welcome and invite the children to know how critically important they are in our world. So today, we give thanks for the children of our world, our families, our community, and our church. We hope that we will continue our spiritual journeys, each one of us with the heart and wisdom of a child. And we will continue to work towards actively inviting and welcoming and including the church of the world into beloved community. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. Thank you, Darlene. For many of you who know Susan, she has had some health concerns recently and was hoping she could be here today and is not going to be able to, obviously. So she has sent me her generosity moment. I believe all of you know that our generosity campaign kickoff picnic was supposed to be yesterday, so we had to cancel it because of concerns, issues around the storms. We have rescheduled it. It's going to be this coming Saturday here in this location at 11:30. This afternoon, we will be having a big email come out to everyone that has a sign up. So, because we know there's some people maybe couldn't make it yesterday that can make it this Saturday, or people who would not be able to make it this coming Saturday. So we want to make certain we have an accurate count. So look for that email this afternoon and then respond so we can have a good count. Becky is the co-lead of our generosity team, and I know she and I are happy to help answer any questions too. So our generosity pledge campaign officially was going to kick off yesterday, the picnic, but it runs through the month of October. And so all members will be receiving a packet in the mail later this week with a lot more information about how to make your pledge for this upcoming calendar year. And during these next few weeks, we are having different members who are giving generosity moments. It's where they are sharing about why they support this church and why it's important. So I'm going to read to you what Susan shared with me this morning, or well, what I printed out this morning, she shared a couple days ago. So, Unite in Love is the theme for Piedmont UU's annual pledge campaign this year. And I want to speak both as a proud member of the church and also as a co-founder of the Piedmont Progressive Preschool, which is housed here. I first came to this church in 1995, the week before my daughter was born, and she will turn 29 this month. My son Tristan followed 3 years later. This community was always so supportive to me on my spiritual journey and to my kids as they grew up in this church. I was on the board for 5 years in the early aughts and have served on several committees, twice on membership, twice on fellowship, the personnel committee, the music committee, and twice on the endowment committee. It has been a wonderful experience, and I am so grateful for this community and have been happy to help support it financially. When my kids were little, I could not find a non-religious preschool up here, so I brought them to the Open Door School at the big UU church in South Charlotte. That is where I met my friend Mary Coppola, an educator who also lived in the university area, so we carpooled. Eventually, we got tired of the drive, so in 2001, she and I decided to establish a similar nonprofit preschool here. We got the blessing of Open Doors founder, the wonderful educator Sue Riley, and may have poached a couple of their best teachers. We had much appreciated support from the church members and staff in establishing the university area's only non-sectarian, developmentally appropriate, child-led, mostly outdoor preschool. The school is based on a philosophy aligned with Unitarian Universalism, including emphasis on honoring the inherent worth and dignity of every person, celebrating diversity, and respecting nature, to name a few. We have some real advantages to sharing our classroom space, which makes it easier for RE to have items for our nursery to use on Sunday mornings and for other special events. It's absolutely true. Sharing has created a great opportunity to use the classrooms that would otherwise be empty during the week, and also to introduce preschool parents to our church. We have had several join our church over the years, including one of our board presidents. The PPP has created both outdoor spaces. They have created and maintained the playground out here and also the nature walk area, which is just up this way. The preschool maintains the church classrooms and keeps them looking beautiful. It's been great to see how the preschool and church have cooperated on many projects to the benefit of both organizations. Together, the two have been working in harmony for 23 years. So please join me in pledging this month, in October, because it takes each and every pledge to ensure that together we unite in love. Each pledge matters. Thank you. And you're up now. Okay.
Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. This month, we are sharing our offering plate with Rowan Helping Ministries. Rowan Helping Ministries' mission is to serve through cooperative community action our neighbors in Rowan County who are in crisis by providing essential life needs and educating and empowering them to break the cycle of crisis. We ask that you place your gifts in the basket as they make their way around the room, so don't be afraid to touch that basket. And you are always welcome to give online at puuc.org, or you may do so by texting PUUC at the number 73256. Today's offering will now be gratefully received.
We give you thanks for all the generous gifts you offer this beloved community, which is helping transform our world for the better and continues to invite all the children into a better place. Now let us now rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn found in your gray hymnal. Number 314, We Are Children of the Earth. Before we extinguish our chalice, I offer thanks for all the many volunteers who've helped make our service possible, and especially for Lachlan and Cassidy for helping out today. We do ask before you leave if you can take the hymnals and place them on the cart near the piano. That is a big help. And I think the social action team will help direct people as to what we're going to do with any other setup here for our project. So let us take a moment to give thanks as we do each Sunday, either in your hearts or with words, for the things for which you are grateful today.
I'm grateful for our children.
For our children, absolutely.
For all the ongoing help up in the mountains.
Yes, for everyone who's helping up in the mountains.
I'm grateful for Leslie and Mallory doing such an incredible job at PPP.
Yes.
And the teachers.
So for our people watching virtually, grateful for Leslie and Mallory doing such a great job leading PPP, and also for all the wonderful teachers at the preschool.
I'm grateful for the open door school where our children went, and that is kind
Yeah, grateful for Open Door.
of,
Yeah, down at UUCC. Yes.
I'm grateful for the trees in Charlotte and the 3 trees I got yesterday from the society that's in charge of making sure that we have the big trees at tree level.
Yeah, so for the trees in Charlotte, and Gail's grateful for the free trees that she received yesterday, so. Yes.
I'm grateful for all the members who wrote the 2,000 postcards that are going to be sent in this morning.
Yes, grateful for everyone who, yes, everyone who wrote the 2,000 postcards that were sent in for UU the vote. Yes, Connie. Oh, wonderful. Okay, Karen and Mary, their son, has been able to get in touch with them finally, because y'all know the cell service has been so spotty, so they are okay. We're so grateful for that, absolutely. We give thanks for all these things and so much more which we hold in our hearts today. So want to remind you before we have the closing blessing, we do have our service project here. We have lunch available. Donations are accepted for that. And if you only can stay for a few minutes to help sort these items we're donating for Hearts for the Invisible, please do so. Also, you may paint a rock for the Kindness Rocks and Garden. That will be outside. The preschool is leading that. And just hope you will enjoy all these things. So now let us go forth. Let us go forth inviting the children of the world into a place of welcome and love. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light, its warmth, its meaning with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we may wander. Now for our closing song, we form a circle, and you may hold hands if you would like to, or you may simply just place your hands on your heart.